It's your boy Testicles, and we all have money, especially when it comes to a game as cheap as Xcom Chimera Squad. Buying it before May 1st has it at $15 Canadian, which I think is around $10 American if we convert it. I'm not sure about that, but I know it's cheaper there. So, generally, this game is cheap as hell, which is one of the pros of the game. So, instead of being worth your money, is Xcom Chimera Squad actually worth your time? From this content alone, you guys are going to get a very good idea of the direction this game is going to take for the entirety of playing it. It has a lot of aspects from Xcom that you'll recognize and love, but it's scaled down a lot more than you might expect. Let's start off with the most important aspect, which is gameplay. Now, when I saw the breaching system, I thought, wow, that's cool. This is going to be a nice little touch to the game. I didn't realize that it's a huge portion of it too. You don't free roam and click your characters around to explore and travel a map. The game is more so you breach into a room, clear it, breach into another room, clear it. That's basically it. You complete each room, and that's the end of the stage. So, if you're expecting a bigger scale of everything, it's not going to happen. It essentially feels like you're clearing small dungeons, which have a very minor roguelike vibe since you get bonuses considering which options you take for rooms up ahead. Considering the price, this makes sense, but I still felt it was a little underwhelming. But it looks insanely cool. When you bust in, everything slows down, kind of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, as you pick your skills, spells, items, whatever, or even the VAT system in Fallout 3. Right after you take your shots, your characters run to cover, or they can get shot by aggressive units. But what is cool is that later on when you rank up these units, you unlock abilities specifically just for breach mode, which I'm going to go more in details with when I get to talking about the character specifically. Also, combat is different. It goes in turns of characters instead, kind of like what they're doing in the new Baldur's Gate 3. So you have to play smart and make sure you're focusing on the right enemies so they don't get their turn. You kill them before they even get to shoot you first. Kind of like that. This is something I actually didn't even mind. And with the whole dungeon clearing aspect of the game now, it suits it far better. I think having the original XCOM style would not have worked at all with the direction this game took, and might have made it far too easy. What really bothers me is how if one character dies, you have to redo the entire mission. This sucks, because I really wish they allowed characters to die to make the game feel like there was more of a weight to your choices. I only play XCOM games on Iron Man mode. I know, I got a pretty huge schlong, so it just doesn't feel the same for me. It always allows me not to pick favorites or connect with the characters at all, since it feels like there is no risk of losing them. This was a bad decision in my opinion, and something I hope for a future installment they'd consider going back on. Now characters are all different, they have their specialties, different abilities, and what was fun for me is how after the first mission, I got to choose from 3 of which would join my squad. You get a rundown of the character's abilities and decide what you might want on your squad. I had a demolitionist, a hacker of sorts, maybe a healer as well. But, best of all, I got Torque, the Snake. Woo! I love Snake Bay, okay guys? I chose her without a doubt in my mind. I didn't care what she did. I just clicked her instantly. I just wanted the snake. Because in XCOM 2, they were one of my most favorite designs for the enemies you fought. And I think it's really awesome that in this game, you can actually play one. But this leads to something I don't enjoy much in this game. The voice acting. It feels very weird how the aliens in no way have accents or interesting speech patterns. They just speak solid English. American English. In fact, this character called Godmother, a human, has more of an accent than the goddamn aliens. It's really weird to me. Are they just smarter and adapt to language quicker? I don't know, but it feels weird. The snake named Torque has such a common female voice that it totally threw me off. Also, the dialogue in this game can be kind of cringy, and I'll show you a couple of examples that I just didn't get or enjoy at all.
I wouldn't know. I spent most of the war training resistance networks.
Happy to be here. I missed out during the war. Wish I could have pulled my weight.
For which side, exactly?
I find that very hurtful.
Sure thing, Advent.
If you surrender, I will advocate leniency.
Enough. This exhibit, it is about XCOM's role in our liberation.
I see you read the placard.
It doesn't say how they went soft and got weak. Now, it's up to us to light the spark.
Also, there's this mayor named Nightingale I didn't vibe with at all, but plot twist, she dies!
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Celebrate before a mission is complete. It's
bad luck.
Damn, son.
Now I know what you're thinking, Testicles, why did you spoil the mayor dying? Well, that's because if you skip the tutorial, you get to pick 4 characters off the entire roster to start off with instead of the 4 just given to you. And you start right after the mayor dies, so it's really not big of a plot story. I personally think the 4 they give you are actually pretty strong. Cherub, Verge, Godmother, and Terminal are insanely good for beginners. I'm personally using Verge, Torque, Terminal, and Cherub. Terminal is a healer who I find is so important for our team. She has clutched out many missions for me with the heals, but a big con, she has one of the worst dialogue options in the game. She's annoying as hell. Verge is awesome. He can stun people or make them go berserk shooting their own allies. Plus on Breach he has an ability to levitate people so aggressive units who take a shot at you can just be made immobile instead. He's a strong utility pick. Torque is amazing. She can grab a unit or an ally from afar with her tongue, pulling them right behind her. But enemies she can bind, and when upgraded, does 5 damn damage. For some units, this is instant kills. I love her so much. She is like my favorite character. And she can also, on Breach, have a 100% shot, no matter where the unit is hiding, of poison damage, dealing 3 damage. Very strong on low health units because on their turn, they take 2 and die. She can like literally one-shot people in a sense.
I didn't forget Cherub. He was simply replaced because he's too ugly.
Now I know the characters sound pretty cool, but what sucks is the lack of customization for them. There is none at all. And hell, even the gear color changes are so small that I don't care. Again, this game is on a much smaller scale, so I understand why they did what they did, but I still felt it was a disappointment. I feel like they are testing the waters with new ideas, which is the smartest way to do in a scaled down game like this. So the long awaited question, is XCOM Chimera Squad worth your time? My answer is yes for me personally. I'm enjoying it so much, and I can basically ignore cringe dialogue, plus those weird voices. And of course, there are some visual bugs, but they're not that big a deal. None of them have bothered me so much that I'm like, wow, I can't play this. No, it's kind of just funny. And especially as you get past the tutorial, I have to add that the voice acting isn't that prevalent. It happens here and there, kind of sporadic, but you don't really hear it too often, so you can get past it. The variety of characters is actually nice. Even without the customization for them, I have a lot of fun with just the abilities that I can combo with. So you really do feel like you have a huge choice in adapting your team with these abilities and making like the most OP comp. So far, I love what I got, and I don't know if I'm going to change them, just because I'm doing so well with what I have at the moment. But it's still cool how you could deal with missions on a more personal choice. You can go guns blazing or be a couple of sneaky boys. Whatever makes you happy. Anyways, I just made this short because I wanted to get this out as quick as possible to let people know that this game is pretty great. I love it with a passion just because I'm generally a big XCOM fan. But if you're not going to be interested in this more dungeon clearing aspect, I'd say maybe skip it because I know it's a cheap game, guys, but nothing feels worse than buying a game no matter the price and not even playing it. So if you're not too into what it looks like, just wait for XCOM 3. I don't know when that's going to come out, probably in the next decade. I'll probably die before it does, but that's just the way it goes. Anyways, that's it from your boy Testicles. I gotta save the coexistence between aliens and humans while loving my snake queen, so